Greetings, everyone. So let's talk about some salt today. And the reason why I want to talk about salt was because I was in the process of making a lavender foot soak for myself. And I'm trying to get better, guys, with, cataloging content and putting content out there as I kind of just go about doing, my daily things and things that I do on a regular basis. So as I flow, I'm trying to be more intentional about, creating content. So, and of course, I was doing 10 different things a day, but one of the things was making the foot soak, and as well as also I needed to replenish some of my herb salts. So I create my own herb salts, and I utilize fresh herbs to do that. And basically, all the herb salts are is just grinding up the herbs with the salt and re-drying it because you don't want, moisture in the salt. So I had some leftover herbs from when I was cooking some things, and I didn't want them to go bad. So, I'm always trying to find a way to utilize things, so you don't, waste. And I had some leftover, started off with the rosemary. I had some leftover rosemary that I wanted to do. So I'm going to make salts out of all of these herbs. So here we have some sage, of course, again, rosemary, have some oregano, some fresh oregano, some thyme, some basil that I, clipped off of my hydroponic plant. And here she is just kind of doing her own thing. and I also had some mint that was on its way out. So I made some mint lemonade, some lavender mint lemonade, and I didn't utilize it all. So I figured I'd go ahead and use that. So I'm going to use these in a couple different ways. Oh, and I snipped this. This is the lavender. For some reason, the lavender in my pots outside, they're not growing still, but they haven't died either. So I'm carefully snipping as I need them, but they're still very, very hardy, if you will. But so I used this in the salt. I did not use the buds. I mean, I have dried lavender buds, which would make this, extra, lavender, give it a more extra lavender scent. However, just the leaves here are super, super fragrant. And like I said, this salt it smells wonderful on its own. So I didn't even need to incorporate any of the dry buds that I had. So let's talk about the salt. So this is French gray salt. And they call it sel gris, sel Gris, French gray salt. And this is a salt from the salt beds or salt ponds in France. And the reason why it's gray is because of the way that they harvest it. So the salt pond that they get it from has a clay, a clay layer at the bottom. So it as they rake and get the salt out of the salt beds, they actually, scoop up some of the clay, so, which is very high in minerals. So you're getting the mineral content, the high mineral content, out of the way that they process the salt or that they harvest the salt. This salt, I use this salt for, the cosmetics that I make, like foot scrubs, foot soaks, just in the bath soaks, just anything that I can use, cosmetically. I mix it again with some of the herbs or whatever, and I mix it with other salts as well. But, and I also top salads off. So culinary wise, this is one of those salts that, I guess in the culinary world, a lot of people don't like, they don't cook with it per se like you would use like regular sea salt as for your daily cooking, because I guess it's kind of an offensive, I guess, practice, if you will, to like just, sprinkle this in some food and, use this as a regular cooking salt due to, how revered it is in France. So it's something that I kind of use as a topping on foods. Like I top my salads off with it. I top roasted vegetables, but it's an after thing. Like after I've cooked or prepared a meal, I use it as a finishing thing. People use it on confectioners, like for confectioner, like as a confectioner sugar, like how you use confectioner sugar, like topping things off. So they'll sprinkle salt on chocolate or, just things of that nature, cakes and baked goods. So they use it like that. And then we have some black lava salt. And the black lava salt basically is sea salt mixed with activated charcoal from coconut hulls or coconut shells. So basically, this is very high in mineral content as well due to the activated charcoal along with the salt itself. So this is also another salt product that, culinary wise, people use it as a finishing product over like seafood. Those that eat meat, finish their steaks or their meat dishes with just kind of sprinkling, this over the top as a finisher. It can very well be used in cooking. However, I don't use it in cooking, if you're someone who's not worried about the color, like, because it will turn your food, of course, is black, and then you're using with activated charcoal. So you see that, that would definitely be imparted into your cooking. So if you're not worried about it turning colors or whatever, then by all means, it's definitely a salt that you can cook with. I can mix it, you can mix it with other things. I mix it with other salts. Again, I'll probably be making a detox type of soak or scrub with the mint that I have. I'll probably also add some dried ginger root to it. It's just so many things you can do with it, with salt in general and herbs. But again, yeah, this is more like a finishing type of salt. So again, it's very high in mineral content. All of the salts that I'm going to show you are high in mineral content. It just is a matter of how the salts are harvested and or processed. I'm the type of person, I do a lot of research on different things that I purchase, and it matters to me how things are processed and harvested, if you will. So all of the salts that I'm going to show you, I get from, one place, Salt Works. They're a company, and that's all they deal with is salt. So I respect that. Well, all except one. I'll get to that. But I respect the fact that that's what they do. They deal in salt, and their process is such that they do not utilize any type of they don't wash the salt, they don't add chemicals. So basically all they do is use air. Like if there's any type of impurities that are there, they use air to clean the salt. So there's nothing added, there's nothing washed away and things of that nature. So me personally, I respect that. Here is Bokek Dead Sea Salt. So this is Dead Sea Salt, and I utilize this again for the soaks and scrubs and things of that nature. I do not eat it, but I mix it with different things as far as baths, anything that you can think of that you would do cosmetically, you can use Dead Sea Salt for. It definitely has, and the reason why I mentioned the brand Bokek is because Bokek is a brand that actually is touted for having 10 times the mineral content of other sea salts. So it's a brand to look for, and that's what they carry at Saltworks, and they're really, really high on, that brand. So, and the content, the mineral content that it carries. So, Dead Sea Salt, again, yes, definitely good for, a lot of cosmetics and things of that nature. Again, so here, this is the only salt that I do not get from Saltworks. And this is what I use. This is just regular sea salt. And this is what I use on a daily basis, a regular basis, or whatever, as I'm cooking or anything that I'm doing culinary wise. Or you can still use it as cosmetics, like in salts and scrubs and facial mask and anything. But primarily I use it in my cooking. So this is the salt I use primarily when I'm cooking, and I grind it up. And this is why I'm showing you this, because I grind it into a pretty fine powder, and that's what I use when I season my food. So I don't mind buying salts in the coarser grounds. Like you can see, this is it's pretty smaller ground, coarse. Actually, this salt here with the gray salt, this is their coarse grain. So imagine, their fine grain is probably very, very powdery. But this is Redmond sea salt. This is going back to this one. So this is Redmond's, and this is the only salt that I don't get from Saltworks. Redmond sea salt, they're unrefined, they're unprocessed, and they're, here in the United States, I believe in Utah. So this is the only salt that I do not get from Saltworks. And you can see it kind of looks like pink Himalayan salt. If you, at first glance, you know, it looks kind of pink and things of that nature until you get up next to the actual pink Himalayan salt. So that's this. This is pink Himalayan salt. And this is also, you know, utilized. I utilize it. I used to use pink Himalayan primarily for my cooking. However, you know, I started using Redmond's a while ago, and you know, I really like it. So I mean, nothing wrong with the pink Himalayan. It's just that you know, I still, again, once again, I'm doing research, and I liked what, you know, Redmond's had to say about, you know, how they process and where they get their salt. So I think salt gets a bad rap, you know, in my opinion. It really does. But, you know, it seems like kind of an oxymoron, if you will, when you think about hydration, because basically the salt, the reason why we talk about mineral content is because we need minerals in, you know, in our bodies, and minerals are also, you know, geared at hydrating. So, you know what I'm saying? So when we talk about hydration, so like with this one, you know, those clay ponds, you know, that clay that they're scraping from the bottom of the ponds, you know, is definitely, you know, a high moisture content. So that's what this salt is actually known for, is having a very high moisture content. And so when you're thinking about it having a high moisture content, then that means you're getting a lot of that moisture, you know, imparted in you. So we're talking more hydration. So that's a great salt to use. And, you know, I forgot to mention that initially. But yeah. So like I said, you know, salt kind of gets a bad rap, but I utilize many different salts for many different purposes, and I do my research, and I go with what resonates with me, you know, and so these are the salts that I use on a regular basis. And again, I'll probably make another little small clip or a video showing you guys, you know, what the end result is, and, you know, how I process the salts into the herbs to make the herb salts. So, alrighty. Have a great day. Ashe. All right, so here's the finished salt. Here are all the salts that are finished. And as far as drying, what I did in regards to drying them out, I didn't use the oven. I used my dehydrator. So I just kind of spread them out on the sheets, and put it in the dehydrator for about an hour under 140 degrees. And you can see once I ground them back up in the bullet, you know, how fine the salts are. So this one here, this is the basil. This is the rosemary. Here's the sage, the oregano, and the thyme. And here is the, this is the black lava salt mixed with the Dead Sea salt. And remember, I told you I was going to add the ground ginger root plus the fresh mint that I had. So I can smell, like, I'm just smelling all of these. And, you know, they all have their own individual smell. And it's like, right now, what's hitting me most is the oregano. It smells like awesome. So I definitely could smell the oregano, but I'm also being hit with the ginger root and the mint. Like, I could smell the ginger root and the mint individually in this salt. So my favorite right now is the oregano, the sage, and the rosemary, because I can smell both of them as well. That sage is just, whew, it's nice. But I would have to say, hands down right now, smell-wise, the oregano, I'm just loving it. So that's it. Oh, and just to show you the black salt. So this is how it all turned out. And because I'm using that, I'll be using that for cosmetic purposes. I'll store it differently. But yeah, so that's it. That's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, you know, just, you know, finding different ways to utilize the culinary herbs that we usually use every day in our kitchen, you know, that we cook with. So this is one way that I use them. I love making the salts. I love utilizing them, and you can mix them. I mean, you know, I do all of them individually, but you can definitely mix them together for different flavors. You know, so the sky's the limit. You can use different herbs. You can use whatever. I mean, you can use dried fruit. You can use whatever you want to use. But right now, you know, I was low on my salt, so these are the ones that I use on a regular basis. So hope you enjoyed. All right. Have a great day. Ashe.